Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to another video of the F1 World Cup. Today we're here for episode number 5 at the Austrian Grand Prix, which is deputising for Germany, because sadly there is no German Grand Prix in the F1 22 game or on the calendar, which is a travesty. And Germany themselves, the future's not looking that great, to be honest. They've not got the track on the calendar to be able to generate that next generation of talent, and therefore it's showing by next year's lineup, for example, will only consist of Nico Hülkenberg on the grid. He'll be the only German. I don't believe there are many Germans in the junior formula. Like there weren't. I did have a quick look at this, and there weren't very many last season in either F2 or F3, only taking part in a handful of races. So the future definitely isn't great for German motorsport in F1. But moving to qualifying, and Hamilton took pole, but it's also close from myself as Norris, and Piastri and Gasly separated by 700 of a second. So close at the top there. Verstappen is only 5th, makes Perez will be happy with 6th, Ricciardo 7th, Ocon 8th, Alonso in the top 10, and De Vries will be disappointed with 10th. Pato Award starts 11th. Sebastian Vettel's been given a 5-place grid penalty for illegal blocking as well. Kimi Raikkonen is 13th, be disappointed with that. Sainz 14th, Schumacher 15th, Nannini Giovinazzi once again ahead of the struggling Valtteri Bottas, and at the back it's Stroll and again ahead of Latifi for today's Austrian Grand Prix. So yes, let's move to the race then. It's going to be a dry race, unlike what happened at the previous race. So that is good. So we could just focus on the one-stop strategy of from soft, from medium to hard. Austria is a good track for me.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
Let's mark for those words of encouragement there. Confirmation it will be medium to hard. Although I think we could actually change it up, because remember back to France, Verstappen was so much quicker in that previous, on that second part of the race when he started on hard. So you know what? I think we're going to do that. Have something a little bit different and see what we can do. So 5 red lights then to the Austrian Grand Prix, and away we go. And it's a poor start as usual. Piastri's jumped us on the start. We're just going to take the racing line, make sure we don't lose any other positions, as I think that's Perez getting stuck on. We'll have a look here. He's got Gasly, tries to go the inside of me. No way that is happening, and he loses a bit of front wings. So Perez, after that such a good qualifying from Mexico, will have to come in and make a pit stop as Verstappen now all over the back of us. He wants to clear us as soon as possible, because he knows, having made this strategy previously in the season in the World Cup, he will of course know that I'll be faster than him in the second phase of the race, so we'll want to get past as soon as possible. But he's going to have a battle on the hand with his former teammate Pierre Gasly. Gasly round the outside, Verstappen, and it seems to might be able to get the better traction than Verstappen, but Verstappen of course will not give up there. But Verstappen down to turn 4, they're still going side by side. This is excellent news for me. The more they fight, the further we can clear up the road and make sure that we come out ahead of them when we make our pit stop, which will be later in the race than theirs, as Gasly does indeed get in front of Verstappen, as Piastri now is having to go at Hamilton for the race lead, but can't quite get it done because Hamilton has the better traction. But Gasly isn't going to go away, and a couple of laps later, down to turn 4, Piastri will have the outside line and is actually almost past there. Hamilton comes back on the inside but gets pinched almost into the corner, doesn't make contact with Piastri like he did back in real life in 2020 with Albon, and Piastri now takes the lead, and that is Verstappen attempting to go re-overtake Gasly. So that the more these two fight, the more it plays into our hand, because we can just make sure that we stretch these hards, make sure we've got a more raceable medium at the end of the race, and we'll be able to get past these lot. If we need to go past them, you know, because at this rate they're fighting so hard. Gasly, to be fair, they're putting on a great show, as Hamilton now is trying to come back at Piastri. This is the other thing. Again, these two are also in range of me when I make my stop, and Hamilton does make the move at turn 10, but Piastri's going to come right back at Hamilton here. He's going to have DRS as well, and he should be able to just breeze past up through the fake turn 2 and up to turn 3. Piastri is past, and that is Daniel Ricciardo going slowly. Unfortunately, the Australian is out of the race. Team Australia is such a shame. They want those points to fend off advances from Germany and Spain for 4th place. As Piastri and Hamilton have made their pit stop, and there is Mick Schumacher, who almost clips into the back of both Piastri and Hamilton. But Schumacher is out of the race with an engine failure as well. Such a shame for Mick, he's not had a great thing. But Hamilton is past Piastri, but Piastri doesn't have missing his front right end plate, so I think there's been contact between the two. We'll check at the end if the FIA are going to apply a penalty for that. Back to our POV though, on lap number 21, it's time to make our pit stop. We've been leading, nothing really to show from our point of view. We are going to make that swap now to the medium tyres, and will take us the remaining 14 laps of the race. Question is where we're going to come past. You know, the lap times have dropped up. Max Verstappen setting up a new fastest lap of the race. He is going past right now. Hamilton's gone through. They've actually gone through. It would have been down to P5, but obviously Piastri's made that second stop. Back onto a set of mediums, so we'll see if he can come back through for some lower points. But first up for us, getting past Verstappen. This should be an easy move. We've already almost passed him here. Apply the brakes as Gasly's made the corner first, and we're up to back onto the podium now. Set a fastest first sector now. Next time, it's a lap later, it's more of a dive really on Gasly there, but we do make the move work, and up to P2. Next up is our teammate Lewis Hamilton, right round the outside. Oh, there's a bit of contact. Well, we've got front wing damage. We've been given a warning. I don't know if Hamilton's been given a penalty or something like that, but you know, that's bad news for us as we're trying to defend against Gasly. I don't know what the state our front wing is, whether we'll be getting the black and orange flag or not. There's contact with Gasly, not meaning to make contact with Gasly, but obviously upset with what Hamilton has dealt with us with the front wing. You know, that should have been an easy front two. I think he's got front wing damage as well, because he's now fallen behind Verstappen. We're now jumped to lap 29. We're trying to defend the race lead with half a front wing, but Gasly unable to make the dive there. Gasly is passed back into the lead. So the Frenchman leads. This could be the first time again gone wide through turn 1. As I say, this is starting to become a bit of a struggle as the front wing deteriorates. Verstappen now is having to go. You can see how much Hamilton has dropped off as well. So this has been a disaster. We can't throw brakes. We had to make the move there on Gasly. He didn't want to make the move, but the car just didn't want to stop. You can see there it's only a little bit of minor damage. A little bit of a chip to the front end plate, but if that's flapping about, that could be a black and orange flag for us. As well, we know what the FIA have been like in real life, but making those decisions as Gasly's come past. We broke a little bit early there, but Verstappen has gone into the back of us. So, you know, I don't think we broke too regionally early there. I think Verstappen may have locked up a bit. I don't know, but I mean, he'll argue that we should have been black on orange flagged to get our front wing, as we've gone wayward now at this point to try and block off Hamilton going past, but Lewis is past, and there's just no point battling anymore. Sadly, we've got rear diffuser damage, and the car's just become half undrivable through those slower corners really. Fortunately, we're at Austria. If we were at any other track, I think we would have probably been out of the race. Because diffuser damage is contact with Alonso. We're going wide because we don't have the downforce to make the corner. We are going to try and keep P3 on the road and up to the line for P3. However, The FIA have applied some penalties post-race. They gave us a 20-second penalty, part of which is because of the state our car was in, and also for causing a collision with Verstappen, which again wasn't I don't think it was partly our fault. I think Verstappen did lock up, but that's the FIA for you. Hamilton got 3 5-second penalties as well, so he's P9. I think one was for taking out Piastri as well. But so therefore, the FIA have dropped us both to 9th and 10th as well. So we do get 3 points, but it's not the double podium that we wanted. So Gasly wins the race in the end from Alonso, who had a very quiet race, and De Vries, who just seems to be in this series popping up on the podium or near us. O'Ward finishes 4th. So, Mexico would definitely take that. That's some big points for them, especially if Spain got a podium. Ocon 5th. Vettel finishing in 6th place, 17th on the grid. The F1 got to smile for him. Piastri covers to 7th. Kimi Raikkonen, therefore, moves up to 8th. And he also got the fastest lap off the race. Ourselves P9 and 10. Sainz outside the points, disappointing for him in P11. Perez got stuck behind the Italians for most of the second half of the race, so he finished 12th. Bottas 13th, Giovinazzi and Nannini finished 15th, 14th and 15th out the way. Although all those in Canet, Stroll and Latifi all finished with a second stop. And then Verstappen, Schumacher and Ricciardo, no points for them. And that may have cost them a little bit, especially for the Netherlands and Australia, because, well, France, they've got a lot of points over us today, and that's partly caused by that little collision, which is 50-50, I'll admit, but Hamilton should have got the message to let me pass. We are the faster driver. He knows that we're on the better strategy at that point, and there's no point fighting, but there we go. Spain jumped Mexico for 5th place. Both of those will try and target Australia. Germany also pick up points, as do Finland, but Finland far too back compared to Australia now, looking to just consolidate an 8th place finish potentially over Italy and Canada there. So yes, that's where I'm going to leave it today's video. If you have enjoyed, leave a like, let me know what you think in the comments below. If you are new here, please do get subscribed for weekly Formula 1 content. Until the next video then, I'll see you next time. Take care, enjoy your day, and goodbye.